Hello, everybody. Good evening. June 6th. Oh, I can't believe it already. We're into June and almost a week in already. So, hi, Dave. Hey, Alicia. How are you? You had a terrible time from last Sunday to Wednesday. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I hear you. I've been there. So, good evening. Oh, thank you. It was, I had to be down with my dad taking care of him. So it was a good thing um, I hadn't planned on it, that I kind of gave you guys a heads up, but that I was kind of iffy about it anyway. But we also had tornadoes all over the place. There was one I was down at my dad's, which is an hour and a half away from me, and I was getting alerts and notifications about tornadoes near my house where I wasn't there, and um, it was just crazy. It was wild. There was one that was going probably half a mile to a mile from my house, and just on the east of my little town, and then heading north. And it actually was an F2 that landed just a few miles north of me and pretty much wiped out a small town. It was really bad. I'm sure you guys, if you were listening on national news, you saw it and you heard everything. But thank the Lord there was no injuries, or, I mean, no fatalities or anything. I don't know if anybody was injured, but um, in this little town, I think they said almost every building was destroyed or damaged in some way. So, so there was that, and then probably half an hour later, at my dad's, sirens are going off. We're in a tornado warning at my dad's, and he is on just a one level, and so we're trying to hustle things into the interior, into the bathrooms and closets and stuff, but he's bedridden in a hospital bed, and so it's like you can't get him out of bed to do that. You can't move a hospital bed into the bathroom, and so we're grabbing mattresses and cushions and everything to try to, if we needed to throw it over him or something. But if we were to take a direct hit there, we'd be toast. But thank goodness, it ripped right through, and it didn't hit our area. So, but it was wild weather. So I was like, oh, so I could not have been on anyway if I had even tried to. So, hey, Grammy Karen, hi, and Patty, Tinker's wife, hello. Oh, thank you, Patty. Yeah, it was a nasty night. It really was bad, all over, and yeah, to get an F2 just landing short, just north of me. That was, and there were other areas up in that area other than that little town that were there, just destruction everywhere. So it was crazy. Yes, Alicia, thank you. Hey, Eli, good evening to you. Kiri, hi. Oh, you're getting the heat there. We have been cooler than normal. We've still had this all last week. Our highs were in the 60s and our lows in the 40s. Um, so we're just going to be now in these next few days starting to get out of that and get back up into the 70s, maybe hit 80 or something. But nothing like last summer. Last summer was brutal. The hundreds already for a month. And, but now we're cooler than normal. So it's like, go figure. Hey, Ricky, how are you? Did you get any bad weather last week from where you were? Hey, Connie, hugs to you. Who else do we have? Oh, is that Mac or Patty? Southern Blessed Homestead. Thank you so much. Yes, it is. It is too close for comfort. Absolutely, and it was uh, it was crazy. So um, yeah, just one alert after another for a couple hours, and it was so it was kind of ratcheted up the old stress factor there, and especially when I'm not at home, and so worrying about everything around here. So I was texting a neighbor and just saying, do you guys make it through? Is there any damage? And so we just had some branches down and everything, so we made it through very well here, but it was still scary, touch and go. And um, yes, and northern Minnesota got a lot. They were really bad too. So hey, Michigan Daffodil. Ah, thank you. Thank you. It feels good. I got my summer cut. The weather missed you. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Yeah, 4 years ago it was so hot. Pepper, and you got way too hot on the walk, and now it's cool enough you don't want to walk. Oh, yeah, I know. Um, watch the Borge video from 2 years ago. Oh, nice. It's very invasive. So in the way that when the blossoms mature, you've got all these little black seeds. They go everywhere, every little itty bitty, and they're small seeds. They will create huge plants and just kind of go everywhere. So if you don't want it everywhere, then make sure that you pull up the little sproutlings that come up and everything, and try to control it somewhat that way. That'll be really helpful for you. Who else do we have here? Yes, I mean, I've actually liked the cool weather. Northern girl here, so it's kind of neat. But you're getting borage all over? Yes. A free cedar. I like that term, Patty. That's good. Your tomato plants are really growing. Oh, good. Good. Okay. No, that's great. Oh, that's awesome. Since you haven't even been able to plant them outside yet or anything, if you start getting blossoms while the plant is still small, just pick the blossoms off, because you really want the plant to get established more and get stronger before it starts putting out the fruit of the tomato and everything. So, oh, it's Mac. Oh, thank you, Mac, for coming, and thank you for the birthday greetings. So, yes, my birthday was on Saturday. So, didn't really do much, but Patty, bless her heart, she marcoed me and everything, so it was great. And Heaven's Essentials sang happy birthday to me, so it was really it was sweet. So you need to pluck all but one flower before they go to seed. That would probably be good. I mean, before they go to seed, they'll be out for quite a while, and the bees will thoroughly enjoy them. The bees get drunk on it. They really do. They just sit in there and they're just like, you can go up and even bang them and move them around, and they just don't even pay attention to you. They love the borage nectar, and it's I don't know what it does to them, but they love it. Thank you guys. Invasive strikes fear. Yeah, free cedar. Oh, there you go. That's true. That's true. Thank you, Michigan Daffodil. Appreciate that. And Carrie, thanks. Shady Hill, hello. Welcome to you. Yeah, Patty is not feeling well. So, Mac, you should be cooking for her and taking good care of her, right? That's okay, Alicia. No worries. You spilled water in your shorts while hauling it. Okay. Thank you guys. Appreciate it very much. Yeah, the storms, the tornadoes, it was just insane. It was great, crazy. Is like I said, it's starting to warm up a little bit. Everything's very green, lots of rain. And last year, we had such a bad drought and the heat. So this year it's quite different. But we've actually had a lot of flooding going on, and just so much. I don't know how long I'll be on tonight. I'll try to go the full hour, but I'm kind of just a little bit, with we don't have much longer with my dad. And tomorrow morning, I'm leaving to go up and see my sister-in-law, or one of them that has less than 10 days to live. So we're going to be losing 2 more family members shortly. And so things are just kind of a little heavy right now. So not totally on my game tonight. But and next week, while I've got all you guys here, I have meetings next week that I can't get out of, and so I will not be going live next Monday. So you'll be missing another one, so I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Thank you. It's really kind of unusual. So it has been like I said, kind of a heavy time here. So, but we've been taking care of my dad for 2 years now, and he's getting definitely closer to the end. So anyway, thanks, thank you, you guys. Thank you for your prayers. Thanks for supporting me and being here for me. I appreciate it so much. What's really crazy is that even though all I've been doing is lives for pretty much the last year, except for a couple videos, and I will get back into it. I'm hoping this summer that I can start cranking some more out, but it's just been life. And but even with just doing 4 to 5 lives a month, I'm still getting like over 7,000 views, which is just crazy to me. Just for, you don't get that many lives. I mean, people watching lives and stuff like that, but 7,000 views a month. It blows my mind. So I want to thank everybody who has been watching and who has been supporting me. And you guys are you're just amazing. So thank you for helping to keep my channel going and things alive. So, Alicia, thank you. Oh, that's very sweet. Yes, the algorithm is being good to me. So appreciate it very, very much. Because of everything that's been going on with my dad and sister-in-law and everything, is just, and like I said, it's been so crazy. I'm not going to be really putting in my garden until probably the middle of next week. And the weather's been so cool. The ground is still 40 to 50 degrees. It's like the seeds aren't going to do very well. Some will, peas and lettuce and stuff like that. But that next week when I'm done with my meetings and stuff, I'm gonna dig into the garden and get it going and get some things ready. So it's the strawberries are blossom like crazy all over there. I've got I have a lot of volunteer, looks like chamomile. It's already blossoming. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I got a lot of chamomile out there. I've got some other volunteer veggies going on out there. I can't tell. And lots of weeds. But anyway, chipmunks ate the top off all your strawberries. Oh no. Well, thank you, Michigan Daffodil. That's very sweet of you. So garden tip for tonight is to try to stay on top of the weeds situation. Just go out and do a little at a time if you can. If you do rows, just do 1 row a day or something, rather than waiting until they are so crazy bad and then going out and trying to do the entire garden. It's overwhelming at that point. Just do a little at a time. As they start popping up, and that's when it's easy to get rid of them, easy to pull. If they're small, they're not doing the damage to the rest of your plants as you're trying to pull things out and stuff like that. So, yeah. You just prepared 2.5 quarts of honeysuckle tincture. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh, Dave, you did half of it. Oh, good for you. Oh, you've been on top of your game with the garden too, so that's good. Um, all right. So, wanted to kind of talk about keeping records for your garden, and I've, from time to time, I've talked about this before, so it might be a rerun for you guys, but just as the season is getting going, and I've got, you can do it in so many different ways. You can have a 3-ring binder. You can have, um, you know, little notebooks like this. You can have, put it on computer. And John at Heirloom Permaculture, he does everything. I mean, he has spreadsheets. He's a spreadsheet man, and so like he's got extensive spreadsheets about what he plants, where he plants, how much the yield is, how much it costs, what, all of these things. He keeps a track. And then also when he's planting, when they plant and harvest, and then succession planting. And so he keeps intensive, detailed records. And so anyway, I have kept records for quite some time in various ways. Sometimes I just, do a pencil drawing like that of the garden, and then make notes here. You know, what I do is where my beds are, and make sure that I put, what I've planted in them, so that I know what I'm supposed to look for when they start popping up. And then I keep records of um, what seeds, the brand of the seeds, or what kind of seeds, where I got them, and so that if they are ones that are going to work for you, if they grow well and everything. So, and this one, is Garden 2001. So this is 21 years old. And I wrote in here like, I transplanted the herbs and medicinals into the main garden from wherever I had them. Moved strawberry plants from a small bed to a big bed. I even wrote down exactly like what trees I have, what shrubs I have, different things like that. How many, 2 apple trees, 2 cherry bushes, all these kind of things. So just kind of keeping a record of them. If they don't make it through the winter, then I know what I had and what is not working. That's why. So thank you, Dave. So I have proof that I've been gardening for a while. Yes. And even when I would buy something, whether it was a tree or a bush or something, and I had the card that comes with it, save that, and so that you can refer back to it if you don't keep it like tied to the tree or something like that. I even have like recipes in here that worked out really, really well. Different things. So I've got like notes in here for like garlic and chives and carrots and the different things. As I come across, like, is for the northern gardener, selecting fruit trees, just different information that's like this. So I'm sorry, I'm kind of missing your notes here, but hey, Debbie Carmi, hi. Reminders are always good. Yes, 3-ring to do rough drafts. You keep your final stuff in spreadsheets. Yeah, board is okay. You guys are talking there. You keep replanting seeds. Oh, well, Kiri, it's so hard when it's so hot. That's what I discovered last year, is that because it was so hot and so dry, which is kind of your normal climate down there and everything, there were a lot of things that just wouldn't germinate. I couldn't keep the soil moist enough to even get a germination before I could even mulch or anything. And so it was a real battle in trying to get anything to come up. And so I totally get it. I don't know if you need to create a shady area or something that they might grow better in. So I'm not sure. So Jacob is your weed killer. He loves taking the seeds off of dandelions. Okay. Very fun. Oh, naughty geese. Oh, let's see. Okay. You just throw the seeds in the ground. Okay. Yeah, rather than trying to keep records of them, it's like just get the packs. Oh, put them here, put them there. It's like, yeah. You know what? Maybe that works well for some people. But if you want to be able to kind of track through the years, what is working well for you, especially if you're looking at it as, I need this food to feed my family, and so I need to get the best production out of it. I need to get, the best yield. I need to get ones that grow well in my climate, in my zone. I need ones that are tasty, need to grow things that we're actually going to eat, all that kind of thing. So, just trying to figure out all this. Now, this one, I did kind of a spreadsheet in 2019. And what I did is I kept track of the plants, how many square feet that I planted them in, how many plants I actually got for that square footage, how many pounds I got of the yield. So, and then if I got how many quarts or pints I put up for that, and then an estimated value at that time of what it would cost. So like green beans, I had 24 square feet. So it was a 4 by 6 foot bed. And I got 80 plants in there, and it produced 20 pounds of green beans. And I was able to put up 40 pints. So not quite 1 pint a year, not quite 1 pint a week, but I think I had some left over from the year before, so it was enough for me. And I put a value at that of about $110 at that point in time, compared to like what a can of green beans would be at the store. That would not be even the price of what you would get at like a farmer's market for a jar of canned organic green beans, which you could pay $3 or $4 for at least anyway. And then again, like the onions, the tomatoes, I had 18 square feet. I put 12 plants in there. I got that year I got 85 pounds of tomatoes and put up 23 quarts and 14 pints. And then it was about a value of $450. So anyway, as I'm going through here and then adding it all up, it came to over $1,000 worth of food that I went through here. So anyway, and like how many jars I used, what my yield was, all that kind of stuff. So, all right, let me see. Got to catch up on what you were saying here. Having a binder is a good idea. You do a base map of the garden area, and then you do tracing paper overlays from season to season. Well, there you go. So you can remember where things are planted. And that, especially if you're putting in herbs, perennials of any sort, and then you've got a winter that kind of kills it, you've got to trim it down, or the winter kills it or something, for you to know where things are and where you've planted them. It's always a surprise for me where tulips come up, because their bulbs are planted, anywhere from 2 to 6 inches down in the ground, and I don't know where they end up coming in the spring. But that's not in my main garden bed though. Anyway, if food you want to eat is kind of important. Yes, your small garden is so slow because of rain and cool temps. The bunnies have eaten all your bean plants. Oh no. I have discovered through trial and error that when I try to plant my beans before it's really warm out, they just never germinate. They just die right in the ground, and I never even see traces of them. So I don't know if they dissolve or if something comes and eats them or what, but I always have to replant my green beans if I try to get them in early, and then we get cool and different things. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Um, let me see what else you. It's an accounting page for your garden, basically. Yeah, yeah. So, hey, Donna, hi. You draw out your gardens in a notebook so you know what you planted where last year. Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, Bonnie, how are you? A great way to show people growing food is not only better but cheaper. Um, did you do a cost out the difference growing versus buying from stores? Um, water. Oh, see, I'm on a well. I have my own well, so the price of water is not an issue for me. But um, last year with the drought, that was um, the farmers were irrigating so much that I did run out from time to time. And so that was an issue there because our aquifer was drained. The peas don't even make it to your kitchen. You eat those as garden snacks. Yeah. Oh, you had two beans growing. Oh. Um, okay. Those are good tips. Good organizing medicine bin. Oh, okay. Well, you have been so busy, Bonnie. That's great. So yeah, so I do either draw out a garden map like that, or I actually have one that I designed out on the computer in a program or something, and so I have um, all of that. Oh, Dave, I have even one older. Here's 1999. Look at that, guys. 99. And so you can see where I had my beds. Now, this was before I did raised beds. So I had raised rows. And so I wrote everything in here, like what I did, and actually put the date when I planted. And, so that was, like bush beans, carrots, spinach, lettuce, onions, just putting the tomatoes in. So I put all that in. Um, I even had records of my seed orders that I made, like that, seed orders in that way. So I knew exactly what I ordered, how much I spent on it too, and what I did. And then okay, you're still 1999. Yeah, this is not retro night. What is it? A throwback Monday. um, the other part of records is keeping track of what comes out of your garden then. So this is 1999. It's my canning, freezing, and preserving. So it started with, what is that? June 18th. Yeah, June 18th. Strawberries. I got 2 quarts of strawberries, and um, I made a pie with those. That's what it was. And then 4 days later, I got 3 pints of strawberries, and I canned those. And so I went through the dates to find out exactly what I got and like how much I put up. And so yeah, all the way through to the end of June, it's all strawberries, which is really fun. Then it was like canned. So July, canned 9 pints of meatballs, 2 pints of green beans. On one day here, I put up green beans, barbecue ribs, ground beef, and stew meat. I canned all of those. So that was a busy day. Then the next day, put up more green beans, and more green beans, and green beans, and green beans, then peas, and more green beans, and and then one day I put up some peas and then butchered chickens with a friend. So anyway, kept track and kept going all summer long for everything that I produced. And so the very last thing I did was October 6th. I put up 19 quarts of apple juice. So Anyway, and then I had a chart of just the yield. So this is old school before like spreadsheets and stuff. I just wrote it all out. So then the total yield again of what I had for everything. So sorry, I'm missing this. This is a great map. Thank you. Do pen and paper. Well, Vani, this is all pen and paper, so you don't have to actually do it on computer. So you just have to have a calculator and figure things out and just keep on top of it and write it down. So, Donna, oh, you're funny. Who do we have here? I know, Carrie, and I do tend to try to be more organized with my things. So, oh, I have 1998 here too, Dave. I'm getting back even older. Let me see if I'm going back any further. Oh, strawberry rhubarb pies and your must list. Oh, I know. Yeah, I'll have a ton of strawberries next week, I think. They're all blossoming. Either that or, well, it depends on how warm it gets this next week. But let me see. You partied like it was 1999. Oh, you're fighting the slugs. Oh, yeah. Oh, Alicia, you need to try the combination strawberry rhubarb. It's excellent. It really is. Strawberries to pick here aren't going to be until end of June if we're lucky. Yes, the weather has been so off. So it really might be another couple weeks before I can start picking, but I've got a lot of blossoms out there right now. Like I said, it'll depend on how warm it gets, but we have had a very cool spring. A fun song, yes. You terrible record keeper when it comes to amounts grown. Oh, there you go. So 1998. I even made a note here. It's like it was an early and humid, hot summer. The end of July to the end of August was very dry. So I made a note of what the weather was like for that summer, so that I would know. It's like I was able to still grow all of this even with that. So, but I mean, I did a lot that year. I put strawberry butter, strawberry jam, strawberry rhubarb jam, strawberry preserve, strawberry jelly, blueberry jam, plum jelly, mint jelly, peaches, applesauce, green beans, peas, ketchup, spaghetti sauce, stewed tomatoes, applesauce, potatoes. I did a whole lot, but peas, peaches, just tons of food there. 97, I found one. Okay. So again, I was doing raised rows, and look at just all long rows there. And if anybody doesn't know what raised rows are, it's just tilling up your soil a lot and then finding out where your walking paths are going to be, and then raking up the soil from the walking path into the area where you're going to plant into the row. So you're raking it up so that the row itself is raised up anywhere 6 to 8, sometimes even 10 inches higher than where you're walking. And so if you rake it up, like your walking path, you take half of that and rake it up, then you rake it to the next row. And some rows I would make a foot wide, depending on what I was planting in there. Some others I would actually make 2 to 3 feet wide so that I could broadcast plant and stuff in there. So it's kind of neat that I had all of that. So I had other gardens, canyon and preserving. So anyway, this one I actually put where I got the recipes from. Oh, and then I got some food from other people too. Like somebody gave me 9 quarts of grapes, or 3 full things of grapes. somebody gave me a whole bunch of apples. Somebody gave me a bunch of tomatoes. So it was a big year. So I think that's as far back as I was actually keeping records. 97. That's 25 years, guys. So yeah, that was great. The let me see. I got to go back here. You guys are you're chatting tonight. I love it. I love it. I love it. You made a strawberry crisp. Oh, that would be so good. Oh my goodness. I just pushed you to get with it. Oh, organized is a bad word in your world. It's if you garden better without any of that, that's your thing, and that's totally fine. It's whatever works for you. Just showing you some ways of being able to keep some records and everything. And like now, this is 2 years ago. Last year I didn't preserve anything just because it was off year, and so I don't know. Life has just been kind of in there for the last couple of years. But so this one, 2020 told me how many things I planted. Now a lot of these were all my starts that I made, so put them in there. And I went to this little book because it was just like smaller, a little more convenient. I could actually put a lot in here, a lot of information. So, and I like this binder that I can just turn it around like that. So again, it's like how much I canned, the date I canned, how much I put up, and what I was doing. And here I wrote like where the first frost was, September 10th that year. It's very early. But yeah, the different things I put up. Bruschetta, antipasto relish, tropical fruit relish, all kinds of different things. So didn't put too much in my records other than that for that year. But anyway, I would love to know what you guys do. Tell me what kind of things you do to write out. I know you've made a few comments here, like I can't remember who it was, but you make a diagram of the garden. And Patty, you were saying that you do an overlay then to see where you've got things. So by frozen or fresh strawberries make pancakes, blueberries, very good. Yeah, I don't know how rhubarb would actually do in Texas, Carrie. I'm not sure. Use the fresh macerated berries and a cooked rhubarb for the fruit base. Ooh, that sounds really good. You gave rhubarb plants to your cousin when you decided to try to leave sugar alone. Yeah, I had, what did I have? 2 or 3 rhubarb plants at one point, and I had them for quite a few years, and they just got so massive and so huge and I was redoing my garden. That's when I was going to rebuild or actually put in raised beds, and I just needed to take them out of there. And I was at the point where I was, I think I was by myself. The girls had moved out, and I had not really used it that much, so it was like taking up so much room in the garden. I'm not really using the rhubarb. Everybody grows rhubarb around here, so I couldn't even give it away. I couldn't get rid of it. So, I just like, it's time for these bushes to go because they were getting so old and everything. But the root systems were huge. They filled my garden cart, the one root system. They were just massive. They were like 2 to 3 feet in diameter. They were just huge. So the strawberries are just coming there. In 1988, you were young enough to tell yourself, oh, I remember. Yes, Donna, I hear you. It's like, I can't remember what I did, where I planted what last year, so I have to write it down. Finally got a small bunch of rhubarb from you guys. Oh, I know. We used to do that too. One of our My mom didn't have rhubarb in our in our one house, but our neighbors did, and he's the one who had a bunch of apple trees, so we'd climb his apple trees all the time and go up and eat the green ones and get sick, and but we would go and sneak his rhubarb all the time, and then come home. We'd grab a stalk and then get like a little bowl of sugar, and we'd hide under a tree or something and go and eat that. Yeah, it was funny. Ben Vincent's Hiller Tiller sort of does. I'm not his Hiller Tiller. I've not seen that. Oh, Dave, you have raised rows. Okay, then you fill the paths with wood chips. Yep. What I would fill my paths were annual ryegrass. So I made a grassy path that was just an annual thing, so I could actually walk in it without getting muddy if it was wet. And then in the fall, just turn it in. So I had my green manure basically, and it worked out really well for many years. But there was one or two summers that I just let the weeds get past me, and that's where I was just like, I rebuilt my whole garden and was like, go to raised beds, can't deal with the other stuff anymore. You get older and stuff happens. So, yeah, I know Michigan daffodil, you need to have some sweetener with the rhubarb, that's for sure. And that's why rhubarb and strawberries work really well together, but you definitely need sugar with it. Absolutely. Sour apples, yes, absolutely. Um, it was good to chew on, but it definitely need to dip it in sugar. That's for sure. And the Hiller Tiller does raise rows like you did. Oh, okay, okay. Um, so it's actually like a tiller that will actually do that. Oh yes, I think I've seen homesteading family do that too. I believe. Um, I'm realizing I'm not completely in there. So yes, you can see some green up there. Those are my onions still up there, just going crazy. They've gone beyond the lights, and I have to trim them back again. But they're kind of nice. Raised beds are easier in the old. Yes, Debbie, absolutely. And so I've had mine now for, I think this will be the 9th summer, because you guys know I rebuilt them last year and everything. But I have some friends that are rebuilding theirs, and he's like, so what did you do? And he's burning them too, and preserving them. So because we don't want to have to be rebuilding them. Our climate is so hard on, the elements are just so hard on wood and stuff like that out there. So between our hot, wet summers and our brutal winters, and it's just we have to do what we can to help make things last longer. That's for sure. You were thinking of that this year as you were planting, how you better start planning on making gardening easier. Yes, Donna, it does make a difference. Start thinking, several years ahead and going, okay, and just moving towards that instead of getting to that point and going, oh my goodness, I can't do this. So it's like, this year you used a wrapping paper tube and dropped seeds down at the front. So smart. There you go. Very, very good. Okay. There are a lot of planners, garden planners out in the, like books and stuff like that on the that you can find on the internet or at bookstores or whatever. But Amazon has quite a few. Other booksellers have some. So you can do your research and see what's out there, see what might work for you. I actually was looking through them, and not one single one met my requirements for what I like to keep records of. And so I'm, as a graphic designer, I'm going, I should really make my own books and see what I could do with that. And it's like, so anyway, there's several things I want to make, but I just haven't had the time. Too many things going on here. But I that is something I would like to do. I think not only for my use, but just things that the big old robin there. The birds have been happy. So anyway, um, yeah, we won't be young. And Patty, I think you're a year ahead of me or something. I think I just like, yeah, we're not gonna be young and strong forever. I'm not young and strong, that's for sure. Oh, well, happy birthday, Donna. June 2nd. You're only 2 days before me. So, borrowing ideas from the planners you look at and make your own. Yep. It's more money for seeds and will fit how your needs and the way you think. Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, you can even look at the different planners and, because a lot of them will allow you to see their sample pages and things. And you can look at it and go, oh, I really like that. And then just draw up your own and put it in your binder or something. And keep track of them that way. So there's some that keep track of like all the weather and the different things, from week to week. And it's like, I'm not into it that much. It's like, I'll record like first and last frost, whether we had a hot, dry summer or a cooler, wet summer or something, and that's probably the extent of it that I do for the weather and keeping track of it that way. So, well, thank you, Ricky, for coming. I appreciate it. Okay, Patty, so you're 2 years ahead of me. So, turned 60 last. Oh, Kiri, wow. Yeah, getting up and down is definitely harder. That's for sure. I don't know if Eli is still here or not, but I think you have raised beds that are like 4 feet high or something. So it's like, you don't even have to bend over. You just stand there. You can just like do your thing. And it's like, oh, that'd be so nice. But it takes a lot of dirt to fill them. That's for sure. Anyway, I got a new stool for myself to be able to have out in the garden. And so it's a metal one and everything I can, have out there. And I've just had plastic ones in the past and they just don't last very long. So just get out there and, do what you can do out there. And that's for sure. Some websites have garden planners they use that you can also peek at and grab ideas. Exactly. Michigan Daffodil. Well, say happy birthday to him. Your brother's birthday was June 2nd. Nice. Hey, Mary Lovins. Oh, look at it. A lot of June 2nd birthdays. How about that? You didn't plant the, yeah, you dropped him down the tube into the trench. Yeah. Tall but hard to fill the dirt. Yeah. And that's where it's like, oh, that's going to be so nice to pick them, but you don't have to realize you have to get dirt into them, and that takes almost more effort. Absolutely. Beans and peas. Oh, thank you, Patty. That was a good idea. So yeah, just to keep track of what you're doing. And again, like I said, it helps you to know whether or not a seed that you purchased from whomever and what variety you chose, if it does well for you. Especially when you're just kind of learning things and there's new stuff coming out, it's like, is that going to work for me or not? And you want to be able to get the most for your money and your effort and be able to grow food. Gardening is, as you guys know, growing vegetables, it's really no longer just a pleasant pastime. It is getting to be like, we need to do it, to have some good food, to have food at all, different things. So we want to make sure that, you can have the greatest success as possible with that, and as those of us who've been doing it for a long time, of course, we know that Um, every year there are things that can go wrong. A new pest comes in, a new, different weather hits. A rogue storm comes in, hail can demolish everything. It's just all those things that are out of our control that do happen. And so, but we still need to try to do the best that we can, and make sure that we can get the most out of it for our effort, like I said. And so being able to figure out, like, okay, how much did this produce? And you can keep track of it by, I've done it different ways, keeping track of, like, weighing it and like how many pounds of produce did I get out of the garden. If you want to compare the pounds and cost compared to the grocery store, because when you're growing carrots, if you're going to can carrots, well, so we put up, 35 pints of carrots. Well, what does that translate to getting in the grocery store when you're buying a 2-pound bag of carrots? So, those are the kind of things you might want to weigh the carrots compared to that. So, you have a $2 or $3 packet of seeds for carrots, and you put them out there and you just weed and water them, and you go to harvest them, and all of a sudden it's like, well, I got 50 pounds of carrots for that $2 or $3. And it's like, wow. That's a huge difference when you consider how much a bag of organic carrots costs in the grocery store. You would, for 1 pound organic, you would pay what, 2.50, maybe $3 a pound or something, I don't know, for organic carrots. And so you're looking at, 50 pounds compared to the 1 pound. So you're all of a sudden looking at what, $150 worth of carrots that you got there for a $2 pack of seeds. So, it's just those kind of things they like, wow, that really made a difference, and it's like, not to mention, you just have that personal satisfaction of like, wow, I grew that. That's amazing. So those are the kind of things that record keeping can really help do, and especially if you're getting like naysayers in your family or your, like, friends or whatever. It's like, why are you putting, I still get comments like that on some of my stuff. It's like, why did you put in, on my videos, why did you put in all that effort? You can just go to the store and get this. I wouldn't do all that work. It's like, well, first of all, I'm honing my skills, trying to figure out, okay, is this something that's going to work? And so it'll be, you just have to try it. And what's important to you, just go for it and do that. So, no, it's not too late to plant cucumbers, Alicia. Not at all. Katie Tran. Oh, I didn't know her birthday was the 6th, Vani. Well, if you see her, tell her happy birthday for me. There are 11 free planners listed in that article. Nice. Okay, thank you. You guys check that out afterwards. Yep, work smarter, not harder. Oh, Grammy Karen, potato bugs. No. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate that. So much. You guys are so sweet. Sprinkle diatomaceous earth and may help. There you go. Potato bugs are eating your potatoes up. No. All right. Bonnie, thank you so much. Oh yeah, yesterday was the 5th. Like I said, I'm just been dealing with all this stuff, and it's just like all of a sudden this afternoon things just kind of started hitting me, and and the yeah. So anyway, did I get my garden all planted? No, I'm I've got some things going on this next week that I just have to tend to, and then with family, and like I spent 5 days down at my dad's, 2 different trips, right before Memorial Weekend, and then Memorial Day and on. And so I've been gone a lot, and then tomorrow I have to go see my sister-in-law, say my final goodbyes to her, and it's just like next week is going to be my target date to get my garden in. So do it by June 15th, and get the warm weather, and it's okay because it has been really cool anyway. So there were a lot of things that wouldn't germinate, and so I want to. Um, put my stuff in and make sure that it grows right. Sluggo, yep. Oh, it helps with potato bugs too. Vonnie, I planted beets 1 year, a couple years ago, and I just didn't care for them. So it's like I'm not going to plant what I don't like to eat. So, I mean, I canned some up. I did everything I could. I roasted them. I sautéed them, and I just didn't care for them. So, I'm not growing them. Prayers appreciated. But, oh, Patty, I hope you stay well. It'll be definitely. Thank you, Patty from Southern Blessed too. Appreciate it. All right. What is my prep tip for tonight is about building canning shelves. So if you don't have shelves and you want to put some up, I know the price of wood is like crazy right now, but that's what I've used in the past for a lot of my shelves that I built was wood. But you can also get like the metal shelving and adjust the shelves. But whatever you do and however you put it together, I recommend having shelves 1 inch higher than what your jars are that you're going to put on there. If you want a shelf of quart jars, make them, just 1 inch taller than a quart jar. Measure it with the cover on and stuff like that. Pint jars, make them, shorter, everything, so that you can get more shelves without any wasted space above them. I'm going with the 1 inch so that you can move them in and out a little easier, but make them as deep as you possibly can. So if you can go at least 3 jars deep, that would be really good. I think I can get 3 jars. I believe it's a 10-inch board, I think is what it is. So I can get 3 quarts deep on a 10-inch board. But anyway, it's it's more the height than anything, so that you're not, if you just go and get a bookshelf and you're starting to put them in there, well, adjust the shelves. Just don't leave these 15-inch high things where you've got a pint on here and then it's high. And don't stack your jars. Can't be stacking on top of one another, because that can weaken the seal. So it's better to get extra boards and make more shelves in there, and whatever you're making and whatever you do. There's so many examples out there, so you just have to look on Pinterest or somewhere, and you can find what you need. I think that is all I have for tonight. So, okay, let me see what we have here. Mary Lovins, you have to have pickled beets. Okay. Do my shelves have that lip on the front to keep them from falling off? I have them on the back, and I don't have to worry about earthquakes and stuff around here. But for anybody earthquake zone, definitely have some kind of lip or extra board in the front or something to keep them on there. So in the backs, I do have either a lip or an extra board so that they don't go off the back. But I think that's all I do. So you were gifted a whole bunch of pine. Nice. If you screw, you don't know what to do with all the boards. Ooh, you could build some shelves if you need them, Bonnie. Otherwise, you could build the frames for standing raised beds too. That would be something else you could do. Thank you. Thank you. Selling their gold mine. There you go. All right, guys. It is the top of the hour here. Thank you so much for coming. I really, really appreciate you guys. And um, we lost a few people here. So kind of fading myself. Take care. And I won't be on next week. I have meetings and stuff that I just can't be here for. So, but I will see you in 2 weeks. And so you guys take care. God bless. Always have hope, and just have a super week and stay safe out there. All right. Good night. Big hugs to you too.